still room where the really good stuff happens. Now, after fermentation, we have our liquid 8% alcohol or 16 proof. Taken from the fermentation vat and now sent to the first distillery. Now, distillation. People think that distillation is really, really complicated. And it is. But we're going to break it down very, very simply to just really separating alcohol and water. It's like somebody leans in, takes all the alcohol out of the liquid, and leaves the water and other elements behind and stills. And how do you actually do this? Well, you separate everything by boiling everything. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, that's 212 Fahrenheit. Alcohol boils at a lower temperature. Alcohol begins to boil at about 78 degrees Celsius, around 172 degrees Fahrenheit. So, like a fire under the still. When the temperature in the still reaches 78 degrees Celsius, the alcohol in the liquid starts to boil. Now, alcohol starts to boil, it turns into alcoholic steam or alcoholic vapors. This hot alcoholic steam travels through a network of pipes. The hot steam arrives at a condensing machine where the steam is now cooled down. As hot steam cools, it changes back into liquid, and the liquid now arrives in second still. And when it comes in here, we now repeat the process 2 more times, which means at the end of distillation, we have distilled our Jameson whiskey 3 times. And this is actually quite important because, well, most, not all, but most Scottish whiskies are still just 2 times, and American whiskey normally just once. Trust me, huge difference. Now, we began with our liquid 8% alcohol or 16 proof. After distillation, this has gone up a little bit. At the end of distillation, it's gone from 8% alcohol all the way up to 80% alcohol, or 160 proof. Now, if you like alcohol, that's fantastic. But if you want to make Jameson, even for us Irish, it's a tad on the high side. So we now have to cut the liquid with the purest water we can get our hands on. Today, we add in deionized or demineralized water. Now, this is even purer than distilled water. So we add this in, and the alcohol content drops from 80 down to about 62% alcohol, 124. It's still very, very high. But if you will now put this new, or young Jameson, as we call it, into oak barrels, and send those barrels to a warehouse to mature, this is perfect. Now at this point in time, there is no colour in the whiskey, it's like water. And the taste is what we call in the trade, very sharp. This is why the barrels themselves play such an important part. And that's what we're going to go next. To the doors.